one of our hallmarks is that we don't change our philosophy or our theory just because we are in power or not. So even when we were in opposition, I almost predicted this. When the state raised the VAT 2 times, I said that sooner or later we're going to see 100 or 110 rupee petrol because crude oil prices are long-term cycles. They don't go 100 to 30, back to 70. They're long-term trend cycles. And so the long-term trend back in 2018 itself was not towards the downside, it was towards the upside. And so we are where we feared we would be. Now the problem is that we don't operate in a vacuum. We are one of many states. We have many states with whom we share borders. And the biggest driver of these prices is the union government, which puts between 30 and 35 rupees tax per litre, which has gone up, as you know, from 8 or 9 rupees or 10 rupees back in 2014. So, there's a whole lot of issues at play here. I don't want to keep reiterating this, but I say we are the only state that reduced it, analyzed the consequences, and showed that it could be done. And I came back with data on the elasticity. In fact, it has gone up a lot since then, partly because of this, partly because lockdown has been lifted, so forth. But even our economic advisors are of the opinion that when you are in an integrated market, that if one state was to unilaterally start reducing the taxes, it would have a deleterious effect not only on us but on others. If you remember when we cut it last time, other states were a bit upset. They say all our guys will cross the border and fill their tanks with you, and our revenues will come down. And also we have found so many cases of fraud, of people selling fuel off the back of trucks onto other trucks. Without registering for without registering for GST or VAT or anything, selling it tax-free, so to speak, pretending that they were bringing it as a biofuel and all that. So it's a complex issue. I've written about it in the past where I said it's complicated by first where the crude oil price is, what the cycle is, what neighboring states are doing, what the union is doing. I think we wanted to show that it could be done and we wanted to see what the impact was. And as of now, at least I personally don't want to be the complete outlier in the whole country in an integrated market. And our economic advisors tell us the same thing. They say you focus a lot more on more OAP, more programs for school, more job opportunities in MSME, not so much on energy, which you are but a minion in the whole scheme of things. So I think we follow that for now. Yeah, 100% of that is in the government of India's hands, right? We don't have any say in it. It's 100%, not 1% of that decision comes within the government of Tamil Nadu, right? 100% of that comes within the government of India. Well, it was regulated. This union government that was the one that deregulated it. Remember, it used to be that they'd have to go to the government to get approvals for price increases, even for petrol, diesel. It was this government that deregulated it and said the oil and gas marketing companies, which are mostly union government PSUs, right? And of course the big, the Reliances and all of the world. So, let me speak about my job. I don't want to talk about others' jobs. You mean the advisory? No, I've told you, I've said multiple times, the entire back to school program was driven as much by them as anybody else. The focus on MSME, restructuring, support, state government guarantee provisions, all that was driven by them. The opening up of the OAP and other things. Of course, they have a longer term vision around export strategy, around foreign investment, etc. But we have to take baby steps. So it has been my recommendation, which the Chief Minister has endorsed, that first we must firm up the infrastructure. First we must do the kinds of changes we are talking about now. Cut down the waste, track where the money is going. Let me put it another way. If we had not brought in these reforms, I am 100% sure that several thousand more crores would have been shifted out to accounts that we would never have been able to see between now and March 31st. So preventing that, first of all, gives me great. So I wanted to first, fix ourselves, fix the government, fix the infrastructure, fix the platform, and then go externally. So there's a phase for everything. Sometime December, January, we expect all our global economic advisors plus Mr. Narayan, Dr. Narayan lives in Chennai. very close to me, and Professor Dreys can come down relatively quickly from Chhattisgarh. But Professor Duflo and Rajan and Subramanian are all scheduled to be here physically sometime over the December-January period. And we'll work with them closer about the next phase. We've hardly been in government 6 months now. And we first spent 2 months on COVID. In fact, I'd say even in the COVID management, they gave a lot of good inputs. And we used their inputs to do that. And I have not said anything. The Chief Minister, when he announced the loan waiver in this assembly, said if we find outright cases of fraud, we will refer them for prosecution. That's what you should do normally. It's not a new announcement. That's the law, right? The law will be